Hi, this is Jill with PhocusWire, and we are here now in the studio with Greg Greeley, President of Homes at Airbnb. So thank you, Greg, for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great. So there's been a lot of talk of Airbnb in various sessions and stuff. And this morning, one of the bankers, an analyst banker, said that Airbnb has been slowing in some of its top markets because of things like security and privacy and concerns around that. Can you speak to what that is?
Well, there's one Morgan Stanley report that's out there that's just flat out wrong.
Okay.
When we look at the numbers, I don't even know where he got them. So we've actually asked Brian to contact our finance department and try to clear it up, because he's showing numbers for 2016, 2017 that are way smaller, and he has this, his forecast is that that we're in single-digit growth, which is clearly not the case.
Right.
I think that's what, if it's around that one, I would dismiss that.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I've been with Airbnb for 6 months, and it's been a blast. And the business is continuing to grow in every single region. And the beauty of it is we're actually beating the forecast that they had when I came in. So I can't take credit for that. It's just a lot of work.
Go ahead, it's fine.
It's a lot of work that the teams have done, but they've actually been accelerating relative to the expectations they had.
Okay. Yeah. So you are new. So how have you said you're enjoying it? It's been good. What have been some of the challenges maybe that you weren't anticipating that you've had to address since you've started?
Well, what I've been doing in the 6 months is really listening to the community. I kicked off even before I started, I actually went out for a week and traveled through the US and just listened to hosts.
Yeah.
And so I found that to be really helpful, because Airbnb is a fantastic company, and all of the success has come out of cooperating with hosts and guests and creating a community globally where people could travel and really be delighted. And so I think what surprised me, as much as I had done due diligence, I had personally been a host, I personally stayed in people's house before, but the thing that really surprised me is how deep and entrenched that community was. It's really very, very exciting to see.
That's great. Yeah. So another thing that was brought up around Airbnb this week was that somebody, I can't remember who made the comment, so I can't blame one person or the other, but they said that whoever has hotels and homes together, like Booking.com does, more so in the way than you have with hotels, is that they're going to ultimately come out on top over Airbnb. What do you say to that?
Well, we are very focused on the community and the services that we're building. We don't think a lot about competitors. Don't spend time thinking about competitors. But I will tell you, the travel industry is massive, much like the retail industry where I came before. And there will be lots of winners. And so our model has been very much about focusing on that community. And I always tell people, it was not obvious to me until I met Brian and Joe and heard their story personally about the founding of Airbnb.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But early on, they actually required that every room have an airbed. And then at some point, they realized they needed to evolve the model beyond that. And so as Airbnb has grown, we've been actively listening to the community, and it's been very clear that there is a place for boutique hotels and bed and breakfast. And that's one of the things that we've been working on this year, is enabling the platform to be more easily support boutique hotels. So I think that's one where we're going to continue to listen to the community and serve them in the ways that are meeting their needs, and be less focused on what others might be saying externally.
Yeah. My question around hotel distribution is, are you going to be expanding that more? Because I know you have the SiteMinder partnership, and then you have other smaller companies like that. Are you going to be having any more bigger partnerships in the future?
Yeah, so since February, when basically there had been hotels had been were selling on Airbnb for a long time, distribution anyway. And so in February, the team announced that they're going to proactively make it easier for them to work. And since then, it's been growing phenomenally. The phone's been ringing off the hook. So there's lots of boutique hotels and bed and breakfasts, and those that might be think of as more traditional hospitality. That are working, to your point, plugging in a lot of those distribution channels. And so our teams have been working to make sure that, again, Airbnb isn't for every hotel, but certainly those hotels that meet the community standards and hospitality standards, those APIs and that technology infrastructure is there now to welcome
So
them.
Continuing sort of in the path you've already been starting with these hotels, not necessily, you're not going to get this JW Marriott on there or anything.
Well, I don't know that anytime soon, but I will tell you that the hotel segment alone has been growing, like 280% in the number of listings, and then the guests that are actually opting into boutique hotels and bed and breakfast is going to about 180%. So we're seeing just really great growth just since February, when they more officially announced that we were a destination.
Got it. And do you have plans to move into sort of more urban and apartment complexes? Like Vacasa the other day announced they have a new multifamily unit, and Expedia announced something around moving into that sort of urban apartment area as well, and working with those apartment managers. Do you guys have plans to do?
Well, the beauty of our platform is it is open, and so those individuals that want to host, or entities that have beautiful spaces to host where people want to travel, we're open to be a distribution for them. So that's one of the things I think Airbnb has prided themselves is as this community has grown, and you've seen some of the vacation rentals and some of the property managers that are also operating they're getting to better align what guests are looking for and with what hosts have to offer.
Great. And what's the status of such like your super guest program? I think was announced last February. Is that still?
Yeah, so we had said that we are working on a program to help celebrate with our, those guests that are high frequency. We have nothing that we're going to announce right now, but we're working on it. But it's not too much different than our Superhost program, which is where we, continue to just celebrate and provide, additional visibility to those hosts that are contributing most to the community.
Yeah. So the super guest stuff, though, will be coming. More announcements around that are to come soon.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great. Gotta get that in, because I remember that standing out when I went to Airbnb's event in February last year, and that when they had the whole host of announcements on all the different Airbnb for work and your concerts experiences and all that kind of stuff. So the super guest was part of that.
Yeah. One of the things is obviously we love every single guest that comes to Airbnb and work really hard for them. And I like to tell people that, super guest will not be a loyalty program.
Okay.
We already have a loyalty program. It's called Airbnb. So one of the best things that creates loyalty amongst, your host and your guests is having a great product. And we're working really hard on making sure we've got a great product, and then use things like the Superhost program, the Super Guest program, to bring special attention and celebration to those that are the most frequent.
Right. And as you continue to expand, how are you looking at China specifically to grow there?
China's been doing extremely well for us. We've actually just announced a new president for
Yes,
China
exactly.
business.
Yes, there was a new hire. Yes.
Yep. And what we're seeing is, both in the in the business space as well as the domestic tourism space as well as the international tourism space, we're seeing great growth across China. And of course, it's one that it's so big and everyone's seeing so much growth there. Likewise, you'll see lots of winners there, but we're certainly happy with the progress.
You're happy with the progress, okay. And can you speak a little bit more specifically as to what the new hire is going to do to grow your presence there?
Well, we'll be there physically. Our one of our founders, Nate, had been overseeing that and continues to lead that business. But having Tawa in there as our president, we'll be able to continue to help mobilize that team to work across all of the various kind of spectrums of growing community, and basically taking the Airbnb playbook and localizing that for China.
Okay, got it. And I've got one final question for you, and you're not going to answer it, but what's the status of flights?
Flights.
Where are we at?
Well, obviously Brian at various times has talked about the fact that we want to continue to innovate over the end-to-end travel experience, and so that still is very much an objective. Our core businesses, homes, China, experiences, and our luxury are taking, the bulk of our time and energy right now.
Right.
But I can tell you that you can already get a flight on Airbnb.
Can I?
Through our experiences program. So you can come over here to Los Angeles, to the airport, and someone will teach you how to fly.
That's cheating. That's not how that works.
We also have a flight
you had me going.
a biplane where you can fly over the Arizona desert as well on a hosted experience. So in a very, very small way, we have Airbnb flights already.
You're getting there. Okay, great, awesome. Well, Greg, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks.